G'day folks, it's Admiral Revan here, hope you're all doing well. It's great to be here folks. Well, it's actually early August of 2023 and I have to say we're less than 140 days away to Christmas. Why on earth am I counting down to Thanksgiving, Christmas, Boxing Day and New Year's Eve all in one, a New Year's celebration? I don't have no idea, but I have to say that one of my friends, like Wookiee Legend for example, was actually doing it as a stream title and I actually burst out laughing hysterically that we're getting closer to down to that, time frame, which is phenomenal. Anyway, first and foremost, that I had a question that came across to my channel the other night and it was following right here. They were asking me, like, can we have a quick tour guide on the new World of Warship settings, on the new layout? Now, this is for covering all the topics about regarding to the settings, about, the game for World of Warships and everything, so that we know what we're in for. And this will cover everything from video settings, graphics settings, crosshairs, the HUD, everything. This will cover all topics, so that everyone will understand what you're in for, and at least you know where to find things and make it easier for yourselves. And it is a fair question. I didn't think that many people would notice the new changes since 12.6 I think it was that when we saw this new layout, and I have to say that it's actually not too bad. Well, ever since 12.6 came out, the latest patch on this current month, have to admit though, when I first looked at it, the settings actually threw me off a little bit because I was used to the old style. However, the new style is a little bit different and it can be a little bit tricky, so this video guide is basically trying to help you out. First tab that we're seeing right now is the display tab. Okay, so it's not too hard to understand. The display is basically talking about your monitors, okay, and your in-game settings. Currently, as you see, I'm using full screen windowed. Basically I'm just using the current full screen resolution of my monitor right now, but if you want to have a quick look at it, you can actually go to full screen and actually customize it the way you see fit to the screen resolution that you like to have. Windowed is basically just using the window mode of the actual full capture of majority of the monitor screen. However, if you want to use full screen windowed, this is the better option for you of what it is using right there. Now, the effect of this is basically effect on the graphics card is high, effect on the processor is low. Now, I have to admit though, I actually was very surprised when I saw that reasoning behind it all, but hey, at the end of the day, it's very interesting. Now, you got the good thing about the user interface as scale for the actual zooming in on the interface. It actually can be enlarged to 150%. I don't know if it can be enlarged any higher than that, but as you can see that the gamma on the brightness on the actual shades of the interface can be either brighter or darker if you wish. This is for the effects of the image contrasting. Also, as you can see here that there's a vertical synchronization. You can choose to have it on to enable for triple buffering as well, but if you want to leave it on free reign, it's pretty much you just look over here and you can see that the effect on the graphics card was medium, low on the processor. Now, it's actually kind of interesting to see how it works. I'm actually very surprised that it's good to know that they really thought this through and such. Now, here's something like color blindness filters. You can set it up and configure as such, and look at this, you can actually see that there's a way to actually enable it and look through whatever is suitable for you. At the moment I'm just going to go back to click on disabled because I'm okay with it, but at least it gives you the option to change it, which is good. The graphic settings. This is really interesting. So graphic settings for the video card that you're using, depending wherever it is. Now, me personally, I have a 3080 Ti in this machine I'm using for gaming and general use, and it's nice. It's actually pretty decent. So for what it's worth, I mean, like, I actually set my graphics detail to usually the maximum. However, there are some things that I need to, you know, just change or tweak it as I see fit. As you can see, that all my detail resolution is actually pretty up there. If you move your cursor over this texture here, for example, it actually tells you what kind of effect that you will have on your graphics card, and this actually says very high, which is pretty damn nice, and the processor will be medium. So some things will be low, some things will be medium, some things will be medium, high, low, you know, like if you can scroll down, it's pretty cool. At least it gives you a bit of an understanding what you're in for. Now, I have to say that fog transparency is always nice to have at some point in the game, but if your video card is struggling, I would actually, you know, look the idea of maybe just tweaking it, you know, just go to low settings and then just work around it from there. Now, I'm just going to click no to changes, but I'm going back in the settings and again to go to next part. Audio. Now, audio is pretty straightforward. Now, audio implies that in regarding to the speaker, the sources and the stuff like that, in terms of like you're going to go through speakers or earphones, that makes sense. Volume, you can tweak it as you see fit. I tweaked my music import and also in battle to be a little bit lower because like I want to focus on whatever I'm doing when I'm streaming and things like that, but that's understandable. But this is coming down to choice of preference. If you got your own music that you would like to jam to, definitely you're more than welcome to music, you know, to reduce the volume of the music to almost zero if you like, and go with as you see fit. In terms of like, you know, the effects of the sound preset or the ship's horn, you can choose to enable it, change the different modes that you would like to have, from like standard to cinematic to simple, night or whatever. If you choose custom, I mean, like there's a whole heap of, you know, options right there, and loudness compensation, which is pretty dope. I mean, like they have thought this through pretty quickly. Now this is the biggest thing that a lot of people were asking me again in regarding to voiceovers. Now, voiceovers are your captains, okay? Now, I have to admit, depending on what nationality you are, and you have, you know, whatever preference, I mean, like you can have English, United Kingdom, Pirate, or just general American English. You know, to be honest, I think wargames should include Australian or Kiwi or both the English language, and that'll be bloody awesome, mate. Because crikey, I mean, like you got some Australians here, mate. You gotta keep us in the loop, you know. Seriously, wargaming. But anyway, that's just me. That's my 2 cents. I love you guys, but still, you know, you gotta keep us in there somehow. All right. But then again, you have to include the Greeks and all the rest. But if you scroll down a little bit further, there's actually some other languages in there, which is pretty cool, I have to say. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, wargaming can do only so much. But hey, we got different nationalities playing the game, and as long as we're having fun, we're kicking ass and having a good time, that's the main thing, right? But anyways, notice that you go over here in the modification. This is very important for you to understand. So as you can see here, there's a bit of a lot of text here, but I'll go over here with you over on this so you understand what you're in for. So standard is basically focused on commanders on your team speak in the selected voiceover language. When using a commander with unique phrases, the standard voiceover will be replaced, which is a bit of a shame, really. National is basically focused on whatever corresponding warships that you have in there. That actually goes whatever the commander nations, and that makes sense. In terms of the so when I'm thinking about national, I'm talking about like Japanese, you know, commanders would be talking of Japanese, German. The British will have their own version. and the Americans will have their own version, and then also some of the unique commanders. Well, I have to say about the European ones, I'm not 100% sure how that works, but it's actually interesting when you think about all these settings and stuff. The extended voiceover language, though, on the other hand, it corresponds to the ship commander's nation. You can also hear unique phrases from commanders with individual voiceovers aligned to allied ships, which is pretty damn cool. And then if you have a commander with an individual voiceover in your roster, you can use the voiceover for all messages in battle, including quick commands from allies, regardless of commander or the commander you entered the battle with. To do this, select the commander's name on the list. Wow, that's actually pretty awesome. But what I've done is that for me is that because I like, like hearing everything that I love, knowing things and stuff like that, I actually use extended. Now, with that being said though, folks, I mean, like, if you want to have Mod Station or Aslane mods downloaded, there is the option to listen, to different voiceovers, like for example, Steven Seagal, The Mighty Jingles, Dasher. Gotta love Dasher. A lot of respect for her. Also the ARP Fleet, Azure Lane. Crikey. Transformers. Everything, like you literally can't have a lot of commanders there. And I, like in all seriousness though, and again, do what you can. And yeah, it's even got the Statue of Liberty. I saw that. Where is it? There it is. But they also got an Unsinkable Sam and heaps of things, folks. That's just unreal. But as you scroll down here, I mean, like, you can see the voice chat. You can have the option to have voice chat enabled and devices that you want to select if you don't want it. Also radio communication effect. A sound filter is implemented to replicate the effect of radio communications. The effect is applied to commanders, phrases, quick commands, and voice chat. That's if you want to have it. But me personally, I just mute it and just go with the whatever I have per preference. But feel free to experiment and check it out for yourself. This one here for the music battle, you can actually choose from standard, cinematic, modern, or war drums. That's up to you. And that's pretty much it for audio. The HUD, in the in-game interface. Now, this is very interesting for a lot of people out there. Did you know that in terms of the crosshairs, they actually moved to here this time around? So the HUD is basically the in-game user interface. You can actually have a look and see what you're in for. And this is, very neat because it actually gives you a preview of what you're in for. And as you can see, it's slowly, changing as you select each one. And you can quickly go through it until, like, you're happy with it and just click apply. Now, with that being said though, I mean, like, keep in mind though, for Mod Station as well as Aslane mods and that sort of thing, if you do download it, the extra crosshairs, they will be listed here as well. Now, the camera thing is a little tricky. Now, I will admit though, the camera view and everything like that, the field view and everything, a lot of people usually leave it by default, which I can show you. It's actually by 8. Sometimes, people just increase it to 100%. Some people just don't and leave it back to 8 in a way. Camera height on the other thing that I can recommend for you to do is that you can do it with 50-50, or you can reduce it, increase it, whatever suits you. That's basically your own choice and preference. So feel free to tweak it as you see fit. But as you move your cursor over these sort of fields, notice that they have like a bit of description for you, and Wargaming has done a very good job of actually putting it together with this information here for you. And notice that they actually give you a bit of a tip there about like how things are being used for the free camera view and other things like that, with the keys on the keyboard, and that's actually pretty neat. So that's actually very nice to see. The mouse, obviously mouse sensitivity, and also how you're gonna, like align it for the inverted y-axis and stuff like that. Also the controls of the game. Now this is very important. As you know, in World of Warships, that the game can be quite sophisticated, complicated, and all the above. I know. But in all seriousness though, I mean, like for new players, they're probably going like, whoa, it's just like way over my head. But in all seriousness though, don't feel bad. At least you learn something. But hey, check this out. Show a hide interface, Control J. What do you know? Thanks, Wargaming. Also, like you got tab for showing game statistics and a few other things. Ship status is basically pressing the letter H, winning battle. It's actually very handy. It's actually pretty cool too. Also, some customized keys, for the consumables as well. Ship horn is N, which is pretty neat. Submarine is actually pretty cool. I mean, like, there's also tactical map. It gives you a bit of understanding what you're in for as well. General armament, as well as movement, aircraft. Again, there's a lot of information to go by, which is pretty good. Communication, there's a whole heap of things that are like any of the F1 to F12 keys. I don't think there's ever an F1 function. No, looks like not the case. But anyway, at least you can have a look. Battle observation, which is pretty nice. One thing that Wargaming did not add, and I will mention this, is that they should have added that option like we did for the free camera view of looking at the ships in the battle, or when you're dead as well, and the ability to look underwater and things like that too. So they didn't really mention that out loud, and that's the only suggestion that's missing, that's in here. And honestly, I think it'll be a great opportunity for Wargaming to actually include this under probably under controls and keyboard, and to say like, free camera view, like a tab called free camera view, and just add it in there as a function, and then a bit of instructions and stuff like that. I did a tutorial video on how to do it yourself, but yeah, just like good examples there. Other game settings. Now this is pretty cool. I mean, like, you can choose the collision avoidance system, you can turn it off and on, things like that. Show time and port, which is nice to have. Skip video game launch, optional. Display language bar, optional, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much it. I mean, like, overall, I mean, like, you can change the settings. You can like, which setting would you like to have for set up your monitors and stuff like that. Overall, I mean, this is a pretty decent setup. That's pretty much it. But yeah, that's actually pretty much it, folks. I mean, like, for what I have to say in this video. But if you have any questions or anything like that, please let us know, because we are always here to help you, and that is the main thing. Okay, so if you have any questions or anything like that, just tell us, let us know, and I'm sure we can help each other out, definitely, for sure. But until then, stay safe, take care. Action Stations.